The city that never sleeps just got a wake-up call. Something big is happening. 1998, the year of Godzilla. Size does matter. From the creators of Independence Day. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
All right, I thought you were gonna read one and then pause. I wasn't expecting it all at once, and that first one really took my breath away.
The city that never sleeps got a wake-up call. Size does matter. It's pretty good. 1998, the year
Not
of
bad.
Godzilla. Pretty bad.
Yeah, that one's not so great.
Listen, if they
From
would
the
have
creators
used
of
that
Independence
one,
Day. Perfect.
Sold.
yeah, if they would have used that other one, I wouldn't have thought that this came out in 2000. Just saying.
This is episode 190 of I Do Suffer. My name is Matthew Broderick, is the worst actor of all time.
Oh, good one. Good one.
I don't know. I'm the mayor that likes M&Ms.
You're Ebert.
Here, have some candy. Calm down.
Katie's Kent Brockman.
Sure.
This week we are talking about 1998 or 2000's Godzilla. This movie.
1998 to 2000s Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, might as well be how long it fucking was.
Okay.
This movie tested my fucking patience.
I did not remember that this movie was this long, and I wouldn't have picked it because is it 2 hours and 17 minutes is like a long time for a joke, as I obviously picked this movie kind of as a joke. So it really backfired, to say the least.
It, I always say when I want a Godzilla movie, I want Godzilla to not be in 3/4 of it. This is the thing I'm always looking for. I want to see some shitty people.
I need more Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick and more Godzilla movies. That's what everybody's.
Oh my god,
clamoring
he is
for.
just insufferable in this movie. He does this like stupid, what I think he thinks is like a puppy dog face, and it is just, it like boils my blood. It makes me so angry.
That's his RBF, resting Broderick
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good one. So I'm just gonna, like, if for some reason, okay, if nobody heard me, I'm not gonna go on and on about it.
Yeah, you are.
I don't
Again.
believe you.
But in the beginning of the last episode, and if you've listened to some random episodes, you know that I absolutely despise Matthew Broderick. He
30
is like,
minutes of every episode.
he is like my arch
You guys
nemesis.
have no idea how much Broderick hate gets cut out of every episode.
That's true. So for some reason you're new here, and for some ungodly reason you like him or think he's respectable, probably just turn this off right now, because I have nothing good to say about him. So if you hate him, then please pull up a chair, because this is what's happening right now. 2 hours and 17 minutes of stupid, soulless Matthew Broderick eyes. I just subjected myself to.
I know it's hard to bitch about this movie being too long, because I actively would have probably watched another hour of like Avengers Endgame. But holy fuck, this movie sucks.
And the problem is it's just stuff that doesn't matter.
A Godzilla movie should not be 2 hours long.
No.
A Godzilla movie should not have a 2 hour long fucking joke about the mayor being Ebert and his assistant Gene. Fucking Siskel Ebert bullshit. You got two guys from The Simpsons, one of them essentially playing Kent Brockman, who he voices on The Simpsons, and then Hank Azaria just playing like every generic New York guy he's voiced on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You got...
Whoa. Hey.
Yeah, just every fucking, I think they call it wise guy voice that he does on The Simpsons.
He doesn't even say any words. He just said, oh, hey, oh. Godzilla steps like right around him, and he's like, "Ho ho ho! Whoa!"
Hey,
The
ooh, and he
only-
like pulls on his collar,
Yeah,
like
collar, you,
ooh.
ooh, ooh.
Literally would have made this movie infinitely better if that's what he just
Alright.
did the whole time.
Incredible.
They trashed the garden. Now I'm angry.
Oh man, yeah,
The
this is
other
brutal.
thing that they do in this movie is that they also make fun of Matthew Broderick's character's name. Like no one can say his last name correctly, and it's not only like they joke about it in the beginning, which is like fine, whatever, but it's a joke throughout the entire 2-hour movie. Like we get it. It's a hard to say name. It's Greek or something. We get it. There was another joke, and they just do that. Like I have to actually, I'll start by saying like this movie, I've seen it one time before
Only
today.
once?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was
same.
actually in the movie theater.
Same.
I went to see something else around that time, probably like what?
Godzilla 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
Yes, around 1998, I saw Godzilla 2000. I don't know why I thought it was called. I don't know. There's no way to know where that came from. But I saw a movie, and it was probably some like stupid rom-com with my mom, and Godzilla was playing in the theater next to us. And this was like a quiet movie I was watching, so you could hear the like boom, 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 rah, like through the movie, through the wall of the movie theater. And I was like, wow, that sounds amazing. I need to be watching that movie instead. So I went back and saw it, and I can't imagine I was pleased with it. It wasn't as stupid as I thought it would be upon rewatching it, but like, it's not great.
This is the thing. Is this movie would be like totally watchable. I don't think it would be good because Godzilla looks fucking ridiculous in it. But like, if you cut 40 minutes out of this movie and you just like just had Godzilla fucking wreaking havoc like a Godzilla movie should be, it would be totally fine. Roland Emmerich can fucking direct the shit out of a fucking disaster movie. But like, Godzilla disappears about halfway through the movie, and then it's just them trying to find baby Godzillas everywhere that just look like the fucking raptors from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's just it's trash. Like the shit when it's Godzilla gets into the city is pretty cool. Like I'm fine with that. The CGI is not great, but it's also like it was 98. So
Yeah.
like I give that a pass, but like I'm on board when Godzilla shows up at the city. Like that scene when the dude's out fishing and it's like coming at him, like the wave, not like the wave, but you know, like the water coming at him, and then like
Yeah.
I like that scene. Like there's shit in this that I'm like totally on board with, but it's entirely too long. The cast is fucking terrible. Like
Yeah.
the CGI is not great, but like there's like 20 minutes of any destruction in this 2-hour and 18-minute movie.
Yeah, I have to agree that like anytime there was just like straight up disaster stuff happening, like I was pretty on board. Like the set building that they did, especially when they go underground, I thought looked really cool. Like, you know, when they're going down through that like they have to like climb down through like a subway cart or something. I thought was pretty cool. But I didn't remember, and I honestly didn't remember there being so much babies involved in
Like
this.
Godzilla
Like
babies?
half the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the movie is the baby.
That's like, oh, that's what this movie's
And-
about, basically.
Making babies.
I didn't remember the babies.
Nancy Cartwright was in
Somehow.
this too. There are 3 people from The
She was-
Simpsons in this movie.
She was the baby.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like there's so much setup and so much go between with all of these like, you know, military, and then there's like the French Secret Service, and then there's like this other it's just like
Jean
who-
Reno, the king. The one good part of the film.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I like how the subtitle for that said Southern accent, and I was like,
I, oh, so
Whatever
I don't
rules.
know about that.
one of the trivia things is Steven Spielberg tried to talk Emmerich out of making the film, considering it a silly idea for Hollywood to try to remake Godzilla. Spielberg later told Entertainment Weekly that he didn't bother to see the film, stating, "The only Godzilla I saw was the one with Raymond Burr. I purposely stayed away from seeing TriStar's Godzilla because I didn't want to get anything between me and my memory of my favorite Godzilla movie all time." And like, I was having a conversation with Dylan about this earlier, where I jokingly said, like, you know, people are always like, the remake doesn't like ruin the original, blah blah blah. No, this movie made me hate Godzilla. Godzilla's the worst franchise of all time now because of this movie.
That's why you gotta watch Godzilla Final Wars, where real Godzilla kicks the shit out of the Godzilla in this movie.
Oh shit, I'm in.
It rocks.
I love it.
It's just Godzilla like fighting every villain that has ever been in a Godzilla movie, and then also the American Godzilla.
The Matthew Broderick shows up to get stepped on because he's the real villain.
If only.
I'd watch that celebrity death match.
I wonder if this has to be the worst rated Godzilla movie on Letterboxd. If it's not, I'm gonna be fucking
I don't know.
pissed.
Son of Godzilla sucks so much shit.
I would rather watch that than this one.
Oh, no way. Never again.
Wow.
I think.
Okay,
I know
so
I've seen it, but
one Godzilla movie is worse than this one.
Is it Son of Godzilla?
No, I'm saying you're saying that.
Oh, yeah. That is what I'm saying, yes.
Son of Godzilla is 0.4 stars higher.
Damn.
Ooh.
What?
I haven't
First
rated
Godzilla's
this yet, though.
only got a 4-star.
It
That's
does.
trash.
It does have that one cool scene of them beating the shit out of the like spider guys on the island.
Son of Godzilla is the one with like where the little kid like puts on the headphones and like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that one's goofy, but I'll watch a fucking goofy Godzilla over this bullshit any day.
Wow, Nathan gave this a 1.
Because like
I'm gonna give it a
like the fucking
2.
like the stuff when
That's at least 2 stars less than it deserves.
when Godzilla's actually like trashing stuff, I'm on board. Like I'll watch that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like so All Monsters Attack has a 2.1.
What? Garbage. Get out of here. That movie rocks.
My review for this
Bunch
movie
of cowards.
is Matthew Broderick is the worst person alive.
Yeah, read my review.
Okay. Nathan said, wait, where is it? Sorry, I don't know how to use a letterbox. Nathan said, I know when I watch a Godzilla movie, the thing I want to happen is for Godzilla to die halfway through. This is trash, and fuck Matthew Broderick for being the worst actor.
So this and All
I'm gonna
Monsters
like it.
Attack have the lowest, like the tied lowest score of all of them.
But yeah, this is a 2.1. So
All Monsters Attack is all monsters attacking. I don't understand.
yeah.
I mean, it delivers what it says. God,
This is
Godzilla
like
looked so cool back then.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like I remember, like, I do have a distinct memory of the first time that the Godzilla was like, revealed their like redesign, and I remember at the time being like, wow, why does it look so edgy? It just is like I don't know if they tried to like you said earlier, the babies straight up move and act like just like the velociraptors from Jurassic Park, and I don't know like why did they put just those 2 big horns sticking out of it. I don't know what I don't know, but they try to make this, I feel like, kind of more like a
dinosaur.
Not an action movie, because there's not action in it, but like the jokes that they have throughout it are definitely like, you know, like when something's about to happen and someone's like, oh shit, wrong way. It has like stupid action movie joke things to it. And I don't know. It's just not like, it's not what I think of when I think of like a Godzilla or like a kaiju type movie.
I'm just saying, the fall from grace going from fucking Universal Soldier to this. Like
Why
Universal
isn't
Soldier
Jean-Claude Van Damme in
to
this?
like Independence Day to this is bleak.
Okay, and just so you guys know, there's someone that I follow on here that almost gives everything a good rating, and he also only gave it a 2. So that's how you know it's not good. If the person who likes everything doesn't like it.
Roland Emmerich did Universal Soldier, Stargate, Independence Day, then this in a row.
I actually
Banger
watched
after
Stargate
banger.
for the first time, like kind of recently, and I liked it.
Yeah, Stargate rules. And then he
Yeah.
immediately did The Patriot, so.
Ooh.
And then The Day After Tomorrow, and then 10,000 BC, and then 2012.
I also watched The Day After Tomorrow recently.
You probably like that too.
You know it. Maybe I did.
Trash.
Actually, what did I give it?
I must say 6 stars.
Oh, I didn't rate it. Wow. Well, it's got a 2.8. It's got higher than Godzilla.
I forget. Was Monstered higher than this? I think Monstered was higher. Yeah, Monstered is a 2.3.
Yeah, but only like 8 people.
I
have
know, it
seen
was
it.
like 300 like ratings or whatever. Yeah, this sucks. I hated it.
I have my notes condensed, so
I mean, for the most part, like it's just like a solid. The first, 20 minutes is just Godzilla getting to the city. So
I like
you know,
that they rip off the cab scene from Escape from New York.
I think my favorite thing in this entire movie is that when Godzilla gets out of the water, he's got boats stuck to his fucking spikes.
That was so good.
Yeah,
the
that
boats
rules.
dropping onto the street.
he's dropping boats for like 10 minutes, and I was like, where is he keeping all of those?
Fanny pack.
I have to say, I'm very perplexed as to how this movie, Godzilla,
Isn't the
doesn't
greatest of all
have
time.
no. Well, yes, but and here is the first thing that so the movie starts like the first people that start getting attacked is like a Japanese fishing boat, and no subtitles for the Japanese. It's just speaking Japanese. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that happens
That's so
a lot.
rude.
It needs to be
Godzilla!
mysterious. You need to not understand.
Well, luckily, I actually could kind of understand them, but I'm just saying that's so rude. Like, you're going to like actually put the effort into subtitling like the French, but not the Japanese for a Godzilla movie. Like, really? Anyways, that's
Le Godzilla.
there you go.
And I'm gonna put on Godzilla right now while we
Okay.
talk about it.
This one?
Okay.
Because I
Yes.
didn't watch it for the episode because I watched it like 2 months ago.
Why?
So I was like, that's close enough.
I mean, honestly, just watch the first like 25 minutes, and then just turn it off and
Yeah.
pretend it's over.
So unlike y'all, I watch it like twice a year, so I know it pretty well. I actually enjoy it, even though it's fucking hot garbage.
I mean, honestly, I think if it wasn't for the fact that I've been like watching shit I actually enjoy, like it's like it just made it that much worse. Or I'm just like, I could be spending 2 hours watching 2 other movies that
Something
are good,
good.
as opposed to this bullshit. I honestly was
Like-
just like, I might turn this off and actually work.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
It's definitely
Wow.
not that bad of a movie.
Man, I don't know. I had a fucking rough time watching this.
I will say, like, there are parts of the movie that I enjoyed, like you said, the very beginning, when they're trying to, I mean, we already know what Godzilla is, right? But when they're like going through trying to figure it out, like, I liked that part. And the whole like it did really have like a discovering a dinosaur type feel to it, even though that's not exactly like what's happening or what it is. But to me, there was like a little bit of like not nostalgia for it, but I like that in movies when they're like, trying to figure out like what the creature is. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like for this movie, it's essentially he's a dinosaur. So like I'm into that. And I liked the babies, except for I don't understand. Like, there is a scene later where they use like actual like babies that they made, and I thought they looked really cool. But then the majority, like 90% of it, is CG, which I thought was just like such a stupid choice because it looks pretty stupid. But
All
I
I'm
don't know.
saying is if you want to watch a movie that takes place in New York City that's raining the entire time and is actually good, watch Down.
Well, um, I so I'm just let's just like essentially this movie though starts with like it's like back in that time when it starts with credits, which I hate. But we're also getting footage like behind the
What?
credits.
You hate credits?
I hate when they make me watch the credits in the beginning and it's just well, this I guess we do
Why, this is
technically
fun.
get
This is
footage behind it.
I'm watching it right now. It's a bunch of iguanas getting
Okay.
obliterated by a nuclear
Oh,
blast. It's pretty
I
tight.
just wrote footage of iguanas swimming. Yeah,
And then they
okay,
get annihilated by a nuclear blast.
they do. And there's also an egg. Uh so now we're in the South Pacific Ocean and it's a stormy night. There's some guys on a boat and they see something on the radar. This is like the Japanese fishing boat. And they sound the alarm because there's something scary in the water. And essentially what happens is that the boat gets fucked up. Like, I mean, that's what happens. Hard cut to my nemesis singing and driving into Chernobyl like an absolute clown. And he's in there. What we find out is to study worms. The closest
worm
thing
guy.
related to him.
I like
Yeah,
that one of
he
the
is literally a worm guy.
one of the reviews on Letterboxd just says Matthew Broderick wants to have sex with Godzilla. 5 stars.
He does.
I
Listen,
mean,
there was some strong chemistry there for no reason because he doesn't do a single thing to try and save Godzilla or anything. He just like makes intimate eye contact with him as they murder him, like a fucking psychopath. Anyway, so he's shocking the ground to get the worms out. Rude, also, and a plane lands behind him, and it's like the government saying that he's been reassigned. And then we find out that only one person survived the boat attack in the beginning, and he's essentially just like, guys, it was Godzilla. Also, this is where we meet. What's the guy's name?
Which one?
The the French Secret Service guy.
Sean Ralphio?
No.
Look, I'm trying to make this movie better.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
It's
Anyways,
Jean Reno.
yes.
Jean
There you
Reno
go.
for us
Yeah,
yeah,
Americans.
Gene Reno.
John Reno. And he's essentially they're like trying to get like this like old man who just survived a boat attack to like tell them what happened. And he holds up a lighter to him and I was like, what's up with that? Why is he doing that?
What? You wouldn't? I hold up
Well,
lighters to people all the time. I'm doing it
I mean,
right
I
now
don't-
to the microphone. You just can't
I
see
don't
it.
My bad. I didn't realize I was supposed to be doing that. I will
Yeah,
start.
Nathan's doing it right now also. I thought we all did this.
Yeah, I just lit my computer on fire.
This has ruined my entire perspective of what this
I've been
podcast
catfishing you
was.
this whole time. I haven't been lighting up anything. So yeah, he holds up a lighter, and then the guy's like, "Yes, it was Godzilla." So stupid Matthew Broderick lands in Panama on the boat, and we find out essentially that like his job is that he's a biologist and he takes radioactive samples and studies them. So he was in Chernobyl. There was like this whole thing about how he was in Chernobyl digging up worms looking at him, and there he was like, these worms are real big because of radiation. And so they've taken him to a site, and they're basically like, here you go, take samples. And he's like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, here's your sample. You're standing in it. He's like, where's the sample? Where's the sample?
Oh my god, it goes
Where's
on
the
for
sample?
so long.
But anyways, he's fucking stupid. But it pans out, and he's literally standing in a huge Godzilla footprint, which I liked. Now we meet Elise Chapman, who literally doesn't matter, but she is a paleontologist. And also, disgustingly, she thinks that Matthew Broderick is cute, which is gross. And they're basically just talking about how they don't know, like, what the creature is or, like, what happened. And very shortly, so we keep cutting between, like, the shit that's happening with Matthew Broderick, and then who we find out is his ex-girlfriend from 8 years earlier, Audrey. And I don't know why we give a shit about her or what she's doing, but she's essentially works at a news station in New York where her boss is gross and hits on her for her to get a promotion.
It's because, the thing everybody wants from a Godzilla movie is human love story.
Right? No, who cares? I thought that's why we watched King Kong, not Godzilla.
Yeah, I would watch a King Kong movie where it's Matthew Broderick trying to fuck
Ew.
King Kong.
Oh, leave King Kong out of this. You don't stick him on
we
there.
know you don't like movies with monkeys in it, so.
No, I don't, but I don't think he should be subjected to Matthew Broderick, is all I'm saying.
Matthew Broderick, MVP3. Wait, MFP3.
Keep him away from
fuckable
animals,
primate.
I assume. Ew! I quit. That's too much. I'm out of here.
Goodbye.
See ya. Good luck knowing what else happened.
We'll just be here with our lighters.
Yeah, you'll never guess what happens in this Godzilla movie.
You'll have to just be quiet until Kit catches up in the movie, and then he can just describe what's happening.
Yeah, we're gonna give play-by-play. So we just got to the Japanese man in the bed, and they're waving the thing in his face.
I was gonna say, looking at the time we've been recording, you've probably made it about 15 minutes in, so we're probably still in the credits.
Okay.
There's Jean Reno. Oh, he's got a lighter.
So now we're at Jamaica, and basically the fishing boat that got attacked in the beginning has washed up on shore. We see that there's huge claw marks in it. Matthew Broderick takes a sample, and this is where we meet Jean Reno, and he says that he is an insurance guy. But spoiler, I already spoiled it. Turns out he's part of the French Secret Service. Now we are on the eastern seaboard of the United States, and a fishing boat is stalled, and they're like, what the fuck's happening? They don't know. And then the boats start being pulled back, and they're like trying to cut the ropes and stuff, but it's not working, and they get pulled underwater. What a nightmare. There's 3 of them. Meanwhile, Matthew Broderick and team are on a plane, and Elise is talking about how they think the creature is some kind of huge reptile, and Matthew Broderick is like, yeah, the radiation mutated it, and now it's huge. And they are kind of acting like they don't believe him, which to me is weird because they know, they've seen the footprints, and they obviously called somebody that has something to do with radiation, but they're kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird to me. And now the subtitle. We've already been to New York one time because that's where Audrey lives. It flashes back on New York, but instead of New York, it says the city that never sleeps. Why?
We went back in time. It's old York now.
That's right. Okay. Old York. So.
Yeah, this is actually a new New York. It's a Futurama episode now.
That's right. Exactly. I think it would be enjoyable then, though. So this is the scene we were talking about earlier, and this is kind of the most, I think, prolific scene from this movie.
You just got to the footprint.
Oh, where is it? Where is it? But where is it, guys? Guys, where is it? Where are you hiding the sample?
Y'all remember, when people would get the Godzilla footprint-shaped pools? That shit was so sick. I want one of those.
I want one of those. No, I haven't seen that. I want it though.
It was a thing when this one came out, and I was so jealous of everyone who had one.
You could
So
still do
like
it.
2 people.
You could be the third. So
We got faith in you, Kit. You can do it.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and this is what I remember.
Every dollar you put into the Patreon is going towards a
One
shared Godzilla footprint pool
one
between us.
step closer
We each-
to a Godzilla shaped.
We each get
Pool.
like one of the fingers on the foot for a pool.
So
We'll
it's just
find
like a
a
stick.
neutral zone between all 3 of us. Let's put it there.
Be right back driving 24 hours to my shared Godzilla footprint pool.
My Godzilla pool timeshare.
It's got to be saltwater though, because saltwater pools are the best.
Oh, this
Okay.
dude is dead. This dude died during COVID. He's the guy that meets Matthew Broderick, and he sneezes into his hand and then goes to shake his hand.
Yeah.
Come on, guy.
He's
Jesus
definitely.
Christ.
That also
Um,
makes
The
so
Grim
much.
Reaper. He's
Oh
killed
my
so many
God.
old people.
It makes so much sense later in this movie when everyone's demanding to be let back into New York City.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I believe this now.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes.
Roland was right.
Yes.
I take it back. This movie's perfect.
Okay. So this is a scene too that I remember being in like the trailer that like really hooked you in, and it's like one of the only good scenes. So this is essentially when this like old guy goes out on this like tiny dock to fish, and he's like, "Ooh, I got a bite!" But then his fishing
What a
pole is
king.
like yanked out of his hand, and I didn't know how to like explain this either. So I just was like, it's basically a huge hump of water, like because it's Godzilla, obviously, right? But it's like the top of his
Oh,
head
we
and
don't
it's
know.
water. That's true. We don't actually know what
It
part
could
of
have been
Godzilla it is.
anything.
It
It
could have
could have
been.
been Jaws too.
It's just the precursor to Megalodon.
It comes out of the water like towards him, and it starts busting up the dock, and he's like running and shit. There's no way he would have survived that. Anyways, it's Godzilla, and he wastes no time just like stomping on cars and dropping boats everywhere and shit. He's like crushing. He's like cruising the streets, and shit, and he like stomps. There's like a lot of scenes of him stomping around, and they do that like Jurassic Park thing where everything just starts like vibrating with his like stomping or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like you get like a solid 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes of just Godzilla wreaking havoc and shit, and it rules.
Which honestly is like it's fine at this point. I'm like, all right, okay. We don't ever actually see like all of Godzilla at this point. It's mostly just like his feet stomping around and stuff. And he stomps past the diner where Audrey is there with
Animal.
and
Oh.
whoever his wife is.
Hey,
And
I'm a New York guy.
like literally, this is where I realized that he was like a camera guy at her job. I had no idea what was going on at this point. But he leaves to like chase Godzilla, and he's just like, whoa, that's not, I don't know. That's not how he sounded. But anyways, we get like a kind of like a side view of Godzilla. Oh, so Animal like runs out to like record Godzilla, and he gets this like shitty video of it, right? We still don't really see what Godzilla looks like. And we get this like side view of Godzilla like stomping down on Victor, but it's fine. He's in between his little toesies, and he's safe. He's fine. So Matthew Broderick's
This
group.
seems like it wouldn't be great, right? Like,
No. It seems bad.
if he's shattering windows and stuff walking around, if you're in between his toes, I feel like you're at least gonna fall down.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so, but he's fine.
He didn't even have a wide base. Like, it's not like he was stanced up.
No, he's fine though.
Unbelievable. Never mind.
Yeah.
This movie's not realistic at all.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yep. I don't know.
So there's
My
babies.
favorite
Matthew-
part of the episode is
Matthew-
anytime I get to get Katie to lose her place.
So
Just ranting about
just
some
goes
dumb
back to
shit.
like the credits.
We gotta rewind.
A restart.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick's group finds out that their plan is to evacuate Manhattan, and also they lost Godzilla somehow.
This
Audrey-
drives
Hard
me
to find.
fucking crazy. Like, I understand the ideas. They're just like, oh, he's like somehow went into the ground or whatever. But like Matthew Broderick delivers the line at somewhere later. He's just like, he's on an island, water on all sides, and it's not like any other island. So many places for him to hide. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm like, really? Is there?
This thing's
Like-
taller than most of the buildings in New York City.
Right. So my whole problem with it is like how. I guess I've never been into the sewer underneath New York City, but like, there's
Why
no
not?
way he's big
Yeah.
enough for that, right?
Didn't you do that in your fucking trip to New York City?
That was on
That's what I
our
did.
that was on our bucket list, but we just didn't have
The
time
only reason
to get
Kit
down
keeps
there.
going back. That sweet sewer
Hey.
Me and
time
Layla
in.
go hang out in the sewers.
He's like, "Hey, see you later, Layla. I gotta go down the sewers. Bye."
We're trying to find an alligator.
Well, according to lore, it's definitely down there.
Look, there's alligators. According to Octopus 2, there's an octopus down there.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit down there.
Seems
You don't
There's
know
a-
unless
You
you
know
go.
what?
There's a poop monster.
I got like 5 days off in a row coming up soon. I'm thinking about going to the city.
It's time.
Just explore the sewers.
time.
See what I can find.
Yeah. Do it. Why not? Just have the time of your life down in the sewer.
If anyone stops you, be like, I got a permit. Don't worry about it.
Maybe I'll turn into a
Permit.
Ninja Turtle.
You might.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Audrey. Oh, yeah. So Audrey tells her boss that, like, hey, Audrey sees like a news report, keeps seeing the news, and she's like seeing him on there, and she's like, oh, that was my old flame from college. And so she's like,
What a fucking
stupid.
shitty backstory.
right.
Just the laziest
the
goddamn
story
backstory.
is that they were dating for 4 years. He proposed to her, and then we find this out later. And then, without a phone call or a note or anything, she just fucking leaves. She like ghosts him for
Ghosted.
8 years, and then when they meet again, she's just like, "Are you still mad?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And she's like, "That was a long time ago." And he's like, "You're right." And I was like, "What the fuck, stupid." Anyway, so she's like, "Hey, I know Matthew Broderick," and her boss is like, "Okay, great. Why don't you go get the hot goss?"
I wish she said, I
She's
know
like-
Matthew Broderick instead of fucking Tapopopoulos or
Nick
whatever they constantly
Topopoulos.
say.
Right. But she also steals her boss's like press ID or whatever. Meanwhile, for the French guy has bugged the mayor so that he can now listen in on all the plans that the American government, plans or lack thereof, that the American government has for dealing with Godzilla. Matthew Broderick's group investigates like a fucked up subway, and the sergeant tells him that basically they're like, oh, well, we can tell that the creature hasn't like been through these tunnels to like escape the island or whatever. And he's like, okay, well, just like block them, like brick them up and stuff. And Matthew Broderick is just like, hey, this isn't like a bad guy that's like trying to evade you. It's just like an animal like living its life and shit. So like, instead of being like, we should leave him alone or transport him off, whatever, he's just like, yeah, so what we have to do is like trick him and lure him out so we can fucking kill him. Great. So they get 12 dump trucks to dump a bunch of fish into a huge pile on the street.
As
and
one
essentially,
does.
yeah, and they just wait. And then Matthew Broderick's like, oh, he can't smell the fish from the sewer. Take off the manhole. So they do that, and immediately Godzilla busts up through the street. And this is the first time we finally see like Godzilla in his entirety. And like, he's not great looking. Like like we said, the CG doesn't hold up very well, and also the design is kind of like stupid.
The fish though,
What about him?
they look pretty good.
Yeah,
Best part of the movie.
the fish.
Like that's a good looking pile of fish.
It's pretty. I could see how it would be enticing to Kit and Godzilla. Pretty good looking.
It's me and
My
him
Max-
high-fiving over a pile of fish.
Matthew
Hell
Broderick
yeah,
and
brother.
Godzilla. Yeah, let's fuck this fish up. So then, Matthew Broderick immediately decides that he's gonna like take a picture of Godzilla and sets off the flash in his face, and he doesn't like it. And there's like this moment
Who
where they're like,
does?
I mean, honestly, also
Yeah.
he's like an animal, so like it's not great. So they come to face to face. They're just like looking at each other. They're like having a moment, and then Godzilla like roars at him, and then he leaves to eat fish because like
Yeah, priorities.
you know he's just trying to chill.
What,
He's you know
what would you pick? A pile of fish or Matthew Broderick?
every single time a pile of dead fish. Every single time, no moment's hesitation.
What about a pile of living fish?
That's even better because I could keep them as pets.
I don't know if they're gonna last that long, but
If we can get
you gotta
a dump
get
truck
moving.
Yeah. They fire a bunch of cannons like at Godzilla, and he's just like ducking all. He's like juking the fucking military. He's just like dodging the like left and right, like he plays hoops or something. And then he breathes fire also, but
oh
only
my
the one
god, I don't
time.
remember that.
So I'm confused because it seems like he has some kind of like hot breath, because later he's like, ugh, and he's like hot breathing at them, and you can see like the breath waves or whatever, but there's no fire. So I'm like, maybe he just like something like there was like gas on the ground that he set on fire, but I don't really know how that works because, as you know, I don't really know how fire works, I guess. But that's what happens. Then there's like a
What a
helicopter
sentence.
chase. There's a helicopter chase with Godzilla, and they actually say this later, but at this point I was like, they're fucking destroying more of the city than Godzilla has done. Godzilla's like stomped on some roads, like that's pretty much it, and they like fucking blow apart the Chrysler building.
That part
I was
rules.
like, okay, bros.
Do you think if they had just left him alone and didn't try and lure him out with fish, like he would have just gone away?
I mean,
Like they could have avoided this whole thing.
I think
he still would have laid the eggs, and I think
so.
they should have just let him destroy the city. Honestly, they should have left and let him have New York. Okay,
In,
there are plenty of places for us to live.
in the original Godzilla movies, isn't Godzilla female?
Uh,
I could
So,
be remembering wrong, but I thought so. And then this one, they just keep saying he, but I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched most of those.
I was calling. I don't know. I don't know at all. I was calling Godzilla as she because Godzilla seems like a badass bitch. But they do keep saying he in this movie and then saying he is asexual. And I was like, what's the point of that? Like, why? I don't know.
It says in the original films, Godzilla and all the other monsters are referred to as gender-neutral pronouns.
Right. That
And
makes
then,
sense to
while in
me.
the English dub versions, Godzilla is explicitly described as male.
That makes sense.
In the books,
America,
like the creator, whoever wrote the books, suggested the monster was probably male.
Why?
Because why not? I don't know.
We also do see like underneath Godzilla.
Because let's be real, if it was female, Godzilla would just be on Fifth Avenue shopping, right? Am I right, fellas?
Wow. Godzilla would be stomping around in her high heels, getting her fancy hair all over the place.
All right, let's finish this fucking terrible movie.
Dropping her pearls everywhere.
How is this guy surviving on this dock right now? Godzilla's moving so slow.
What I'm saying.
This little old man. He waited so long, too.
Godzilla didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to scare him a little
If
bit,
the
okay?
Ant-Man movies have taught me anything, it's that you move slower when you're big. So.
Very true. Good point. Oh yeah. So at this point, yeah, helicopter chase. They're fucking the city up, right? Godzilla is just like, I don't know, trying to live their life.
Live mine.
Godzilla's just trying to start a family.
Godzilla's trying to find Taco Bell for a Baja Blast, okay? And
now I just want a Godzilla commercial with the Chihuahua, because this would have probably been around that time.
Oh my
I'm pretty sure
god.
that was the thing.
Oh God, what a nightmare of a fucking country we live in.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly.
Taco Bell made those Godzilla cup holders, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I'm gonna look up
I'm good. Oh
19.
yeah,
I'm
there
gonna
it
look up
is.
2000 Godzilla merch.
Just not Taco Bell anywhere in there.
Oh,
Okay.
this ad was uploaded by Nico Totopoulos.
I love that, actually.
Incredible.
Love it. Okay. Um Yeah, okay. So the issue here is that they're trying to use heat-seeking missiles for a reptile who is cold-blooded, so they don't work. And then like I don't know. This part really confused me. Godzilla like makes a hole in a building and they're like, haha, Godzilla's definitely there. And then they shoot into it and Godzilla's like, oh no, I'm not. And he busts through a building behind them and like basically kills all of
Amazing.
them. And I was like, could they not see
See,
Godzilla wasn't there? I was really
that's how they
confused.
lost him. Okay, he's very stealthy.
I mean, apparently he's like Batman. He can just blend in. Maybe he's like a chameleon and we just don't know. I don't know.
That would be very weird.
Yeah, so he kills him essentially. Um so this is when Audrey sees Matthew Broderick going into a pharmacy and buying a bunch of pregnancy tests. And she says, "You must have quite a harem." And I was like, "A harem?" Okay. Have you seen his face, girl? He does not. Harem he does not have. And he's like awkward about it. She pretends she has like the badge that says she's a reporter and he's just like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you" and stuff. And she's just like, "Thanks." And this is when there's like that whole fucking stupid thing where she's like, "Are you still mad at me?" And he's just like, "Well, yeah, you like left without a phone call 8 years ago and stuff." And anyways, they make up and he's like, "Can I make you a cup of tea?" You can fuck off is what you can do. Oh, Polly's here. Hey, girl. One of our stray cats is a very cute Persian cat, and she's a polydactyl, but she's got like a mutation. So instead of just thumbs, she has like an entire extra set of paws,
A
and
whole
so
hand.
she has like she's got like she's got like 8 toes on both feet. It's
Oh,
it's
really?
crazy. She's very cute though. She's not gonna try and fight like that other guy. Okay, sorry. What happened? Oh yeah,
Nothing good.
he was gonna go make her a cup of tea, whatever. And they go back to like his little like science tent or whatever, and she's like very clearly pumping him for information about like Godzilla, and he fucking knows she's a reporter, and he's just like, "Yeah, it's Godzilla," and like giving her all the info. And this was Matthew Broderick's like doing a test on Godzilla's like I don't know, blood samples or something, and it turns out that Godzilla's ego is prego. And
I don't think that's what you're supposed to do with those.
Godzilla didn't have to drain the
That's
lizard
not
to take the test.
not how you
in
make
this
your
one.
egos.
I pictured Godzilla coming on a waffle,
Yeah.
and I don't like it.
Ew,
A really
No.
big
I
waffle.
was gonna say, how big's that waffle?
that's disgusting.
Or
World's
he's got
largest
incredible aim.
That's a shirt.
He's got incredible aim.
Yeah, just Godzilla coming
Oh.
on a tiny waffle.
Ew! I will
makes-
not.
It just
I will
says
not
it
be
just
any part
says
of that.
MFP3 on the back.
What is that?
Most fuckable primate.
Oh, I don't stop. He's not a primate either, though. He's a reptile.
No, but we were talking
The
about
waffle can have, like,
King Kong.
face.
Oh, I thought you were saying Godzilla.
I mean, Matthew Broderick will
I don't
still
know what
wait.
we're
all these
talking about
monsters.
anymore.
King Kong got Godzilla's ego prego. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, what are you talking about?
Okay, I'm confused. Anyways, Godzilla's pregnant. And
And
the
coming
reason
on
that
waffles,
he came
perhaps.
Okay, see, that's why I thought you said Godzilla was doing that, and then Nathan just said that King Kong was doing it. So now I'm confused.
I don't know where King Kong came from.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm talking about
Okay.
Godzilla coming on a waffle, large or normal
But then
size.
Nathan said most
Yeah,
workable price.
yeah, it's just from earlier, so it would just be on our shirt.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's on the
God,
back.
I don't like this universe we've created here.
I don't know why.
Okay, so Godzilla is pregnant and he came to New York. Godzilla came to New York to like nest essentially. Okay, so just like
Gotta
leave
get,
Godzilla
get that
alone is
good
what I'm
American
saying.
health care.
Right. Um okay, so then Matthew Broderick is like, "Oh my God, this is incredible. I have to go to the lab." Did I like mention how bad his acting? He's just like, "Oh, go. I got go take this to the lab. See ya." He's fucking stupid. And he leaves her there, a reporter who he knows is shisty because she just left him 8 years ago, and he leaves her there with all of his research. And um then she's like, looking around, and she's like, "Oh, he like kept pictures of them together, like up on his wall. Like, how nice." But then she sees a video that says top secret, and it's of the man from the beginning where he's having a lighter held up to his face, and he's like, "It was Godzilla," and she steals it. I have to say,
Rude.
she's the biggest piece of shit in this movie.
Well, what about Matthew Broderick?
He is, as a person, his character that he plays is just like a normal whatever,
I don't think Matthew
she's like the
Broderick
villain
acts.
here.
I think he's just being himself in all these movies.
Well, I mean, true, but like he is technically under, like, we're led to believe that he's Nick Topolopoulos, so like
Nick Tapopopopoulos.
Yes. So there's some army guys in the sewer. The scene was so stupid. There's just like some random army guys in the sewer, like looking around, and this guy's like looking down this tunnel, and you can very clearly see that it's like Godzilla's reptile-y, scaly skin down there, and he's like, "Nothing to see here," and he turns around, and then it's like Godzilla's eyeball opens and is like looking at him, and he's like, "Rawr," and he's like making noises, and they just like don't even notice that he's there. So great work there. The Colonel Sergeant guy is like, "Okay, so we need to like lure Godzilla out in the open so that we can like shoot it and stuff." And Matthew Broderick is like, I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure that there's like eggs somewhere, so we need to find the eggs, like we need to find the nest before we kill Godzilla, because it's gonna be too late if we like try and kill Godzilla first and then find the nest. Then we immediately see a news report. So like essentially what happened is Audrey took the evidence from his tent and made a news broadcast and then gave it to her boss and was like, "Hey, I have the scope of the century." And he's like, "Okay, cool." Wow, there's a very loud helicopter.
Yep, Godzilla's must be around.
That's them. Yeah,
It's
that's
immersive.
That's right. Real live action helicopter sound effects. So, and then her boss was like, "Okay, great work," but then the boss like steals it and reports it as if it was like his info. So Matthew Broderick's sitting there with like the government people, and this news report comes on where they're just like, "Matthew Broderick told us about this Godzilla and there's eggs and stuff," and they're like, "Bro, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Hey, I don't know what this is about. Like, I didn't do this." And he gets fired, like, because he's an idiot. Audrey is like in a bar right outside where like the headquarters of like Kill Godzilla is stationed or whatever, because she sees Matthew Broderick like getting into a taxi. So she like runs up to him and like pretty much acts like she didn't do anything wrong. And is like, "What happened? Did you get fired because of me? That's weird." And he's just like, "Yeah, okay, see ya." Like, what? And he leaves. Animal comes out and is like, "Hey, wait, bro," and like goes after him for some reason. Then it turns out that the cab that he got into, it's not a regular like cab. It is the French Secret Service
It's
guy.
taxi cab, confessional cab.
Yes. And he's just like, hey, hey, I'm not really a taxi cab driver. I work for the Secret Service. We want to find the Godzilla nest. So, like, can you help us? And Matthew Broderick is like, yeah, okay, fine, sure, whatever. So they're basically like in like a warehouse, like talking about like their plan or whatever. Animal has followed them to the factory and overheard everything that's happening. So he goes back to his house where I was like, there's a house party happening. But actually what happened is that Animal's wife has like let in all the people who have been displaced because of the evacuation, like into their house. Also,
Very
Audrey's
nice.
there crying.
She's the best person.
Yeah. She's just like, yeah, she's like heating up Tostino's pizza rolls. She's got drinks flowing.
Animal
it's great.
comes in, he's like, hey, my
Um,
pizza rolls.
Hey.
I'm from New York. I eat pizza.
Oh.
ooh, ee. So, then
This
he goes
episode
into
is
the
a fucking
bedroom.
shit show.
Yeah, it's
Just
Who
like
would've thought?
1998's Godzilla.
Just like Godzilla 2000.
just like 2000s Godzilla. Wow. I'll never live it. I'm not even kidding you. This is like one of those, I almost said Manila effects, Mandela effects, where I can see the poster in my head, and in that, like, I can see it say 2000. Like, I don't know. It's wild. Something's happened to me. So,
If we can backtrack for a second, because I just got to it. The best
Okay.
bit of acting in this film, when Jean Reno sips his coffee and makes the most disgusted face. It's like, oh, you caused this coffee. And the other guy's like, I
called-
caused this America.
I thought that was so funny because then later he's
Could've just
also
shut the
drinking
movie off.
coffee and he's like, you said this was French roast, and the guy's like, well, ha, and he just like laughs, and I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, so he goes, so Animal goes back to the house and is like, Audrey, Matthew Broderick was right, and we need to go and follow them and record it so that you can like redeem yourself with him by showing everybody that he was correct about the nesting. And she's like, okay. They sneak out the window and don't tell his wife that they're leaving. And I understand she's got a lot on her plate because there's like literally 50 people in her house, but she doesn't realize that he's missing until the end of the movie when they show him on TV. And I was like, girl.
I think she noticed. I think she just didn't care.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
He's pretty forgettable.
So, also, this is when we find out that, did you say he's pretty forgettable?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's always yelling about pizza rolls.
I mean, I would love a pizza roll right now. There's another fucking helicopter.
Maybe
Or
they're
do
gonna
we
drop
have a
off a whole
Godzilla
bunch of pizza rolls.
situation? They're going to bust in here and be like, listen, we don't appreciate you talking about the U.S. government that way.
Yeah. We heard you talking shit about American coffee.
Where did you... And, yeah. So, yeah, also the government is like, hey, just kidding. Like, we know you saw that news report about how there's eggs, but, like, just kidding. That's not true. Don't worry about anything. We're going to let you back into the city. And I was like, wow. Sitting here from 2022, absolutely this is what would happen. We now know.
Nothing has changed.
We thought it was a joke. We thought it was a joke 22 years ago.
It's so
here we are
funny
now.
watching like movies like this from like well before COVID, where you're like, this is unrealistic, and now you're just like, no, I'm surprised these people
It's
didn't
not.
just fucking like refuse
nailed
to
it.
leave to begin with.
Actually, it literally, yeah, exactly, yeah. And also, well, okay, let's not get into it.
No, let's do it. Let's
okay,
bring
so-
it down.
Well, okay. Matthew Broderick and the Secret Service guys sneak into the city, using an Elvis Presley impersonation, which we talked about earlier.
Best part.
And somehow, yeah, whenever we get to that part, if we get to that, well, I hope we are not still talking when Kit gets to that part, but
Yeah, that's
it
going to
was-
be another hour.
well, oh my god, okay. Also, somehow Audrey and Animal sneak in, and they're like, "How did they get in?" I'm like, "Bitch, how did you guys get in?" Like, it doesn't seem that hard to sneak through a government barricade. Okay, a lot of people just did it. Um. So they're down there looking around, and Godzilla shows up and essentially is like, "Get the fuck out of my house!" And he's like mad, right? He's got all his babies down there, and he's like stomping around and shit. And this is like somehow the worst CG in the movie to me is this area, the section where they've like CG'd him into the subway system or subway slash sewer system. I'm not sure what's going on down there. And
Sewer.
there you go.
Nailed it.
And well,
Sewer system.
So he's like stomping around, he runs away or whatever, and they just kind of like follow him around. Godzilla surfaces. Like, okay, this part was weird. Is there more than one?
More than one what?
Are there like two adults?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, this is confusing to me.
Just the one.
Because like he's like down in like the sewer system, and then all of a sudden Godzilla's just like up on the surface in like one cut, and I was like, okay, like,
it's very sneaky. I feel like we established this.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
remember it just disappeared.
You're true. I'm sorry. And the military has like set up another trap where they put up a huge pile of fish. And Godzilla shows up and like looks at them and then like looks at the fish and then like looks at them. They're all fucking scared, right? And then is like, "Nope, I'm out. I don't think so." And turns to run. And then the guy's like, "Shoot her!" And so they're like shooting at him. And there's a plane chase again. Godzilla then is like running away from like, they're shooting like missiles and shit. There's another helicopter. Something is going down.
Yeah, it's Florida.
That's true. That is very true. And Godzilla's like, "Okay, fuck this," and like runs and jumps over the police barricade and like leaps into the water and is like swimming around. So now we switch over to like a submarine full of people that are like, "All right, here we go," and they're like shooting missiles at him, but he's just like dodging them and swimming around like it's like a fucking aquatic aerobics down there. And basically Godzilla like lures the missiles to follow him so that it like leads to the subs, and then it like fucking blows the subs up, and I laughed really hard because wow. But then they shoot a bunch more, and like essentially he gets hit a bunch and then like sadly spirals into the depths of the water, and like we think he's dead, I guess.
And then there's still an hour left.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, okay. So Michael Broderick and like his party. Who's Michael? When I said that, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Who cares? He doesn't deserve a name.
You
Who
just
cares?
kept rolling. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Michael, Matthew.
Yeah.
Michael's his middle name.
Matthew
Michael.
It probably is. That's so stupid. He is like, oh, they find the eggs finally, and they're like huge. They're like taller than people, and also there's like we find out. I wrote there's like hundreds. We find out there's 200, and they're basically like planting a bunch of explosives around on the eggs, but they don't have enough because he was like, yeah, it'll probably lay like, I don't know, 2 to 10 eggs or something like that. And, there's 200. So that's a pretty big discrepancy.
Do you think when they were filming this scene, they were just like, oh my God, this is going to be just like Alien? People are going to lose their fucking minds.
Yes. I do. Yeah, 100% I do. Because then, like, they show everything that happens in this section of the movie with them underground. The CG is fucking terrible. They can't even CG like spotlights looking correct. It looks so bad. It aged really poorly. So there's like the scene where like they're supposed to be in Madison Square Garden, and it's been completely taken over. So the entirety of the inside of the garden is like eggs, but it looks so bad. And I do think that they thought that they were like, this is going to be great. So then they even have like a green light coming through them at some point that I'm like, okay, calm down. This is not what you think it is. So there's all the eggs, right? Matthew Broderick like is like caressing one of the eggs and like putting his ear to it, like, hello, my child. Like, I think he thinks that this is like his babies. And then a baby is born, and it's very cute. This is a scene where they have just like a handful of like practical baby, like upper bodies of the baby Godzilla's like popping out, and they look very cute. And then a bunch of eggs start opening around them, and they're like, well, this is not great. And then also they smell like fish because they've been around, piles of fish. And also I assume that Matthew Broderick always smells like fish, but it is what it is. And so they're basically like, we should leave. And they're like, yeah. So they start running because the babies are just like popping out and attacking at this point. And they run. The rest of the movie is essentially just them running around. The paleontologist from earlier, Elise, convinces the U.S. government that, like, no, like, he was correct. There's definitely a nest and we need to find it because before all the people who were evacuated, like, come back into the city. So they're like, okay, fine. Like, I guess we'll do our job. So, okay, great. There's like this long scene about them trying to call the military for backup to like bomb the building essentially, because that's where all the eggs and the babies are. But the line is busy and they can't get through. So the other Secret Service guys are basically like, we'll stay here and hold off the babies. You guys get help. And it's all for naught. They both get killed, and Matthew Broderick cannot figure out how to get out of this fucking building. He runs around it for like 20 minutes when he finally runs back into like the Secret Service like head guy and is like, oh, I couldn't get out. Whoops. And so those guys just like died for no reason. Right. Meanwhile, Audrey and Animal are climbing around in the vents of the same building because they've been like following the group, right? And essentially they all like end up, even though they've split off, they all end up coming back together. So it's like Matthew Broderick, Audrey, Animal. I don't know what his name, the Secret Service guy's name was in this movie. I didn't write it down at all. Yeah. So they're all together and basically Scott. Yes. And they basically run from the babies more. Matthew Michael Johnson.
Michael Gary Scott.
So there you go. I love it. Andrew Baines Bernard. So they're like, oh, okay. So they run from the babies for a while. It's just all very stupid. And eventually they realize that there's like a broadcasting booth because, they broadcast basketball games from there and all kinds of shit. And so they're like, okay, like we can go there and get a signal out. They go into the room and Audrey says the network is on an internet.
Yeah, I remember. I heard that when I was watching at work and I was like, wait.
I like skipped back and I was like, I'm sorry, a what? An internet? Gotcha.
Like it was 1998. We barely had the internet at that time.
It was 2000. Okay, no. I was making my own websites on AOL by then. Just kidding. So, anyways. I don't think I was allowed to have the internet till like 2003
you
at
weren't allowed
least.
to have an internet?
We did not have an internet, no. I did not. I was not allowed to have an internet via a disc for America Online. So basically what they're going to do is like they're going to try and go live and hope that the military like sees their live broadcasts. And it's really I thought this part was actually pretty funny because they patch in a signal to like the news station that they're basically going to try and go live, and the guy's like, there's no Rangers game on tonight. Really? There's not? Like, there's a giant fucking Godzilla creature running around New York City, and also everything's evacuated, and like, you think, and there's not a game.
Yeah, but you can't,
like, really?
You can't cancel a hockey game.
Well, listen, I guess they just scheduled around it, I guess. So they basically, she's like, that guy is not gonna like listen to us. And so then Animal's like, yo, check out all these babies. And then the guy's like, oh shit, okay.
Actual dialogue from the movie.
That was the only thing he said, was check out all these babies. He just really needed to drive home the point that like they weren't fucking around, you know. And so the guy's like, oh shit, okay. So he turns it on, and essentially like Matthew Broderick is like, hey, so there's like 200 babies in here, and also they're gonna get out and kill everybody, and that's like bad. So go ahead and bomb the building, okay? And that's like essentially what happens. Oh, he also says that they're born pregnant, and I was like, what? Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, if once these babies give birth, then they'll be, 400 baby, math. I don't know how much that is.
I think he said by the end of the year there'd be 400,000.
Well, that seems really bad. I don't know how there'd be space for all of them on the Earth, but he essentially says like they're gonna wipe us out, which honestly maybe that's what should have happened. But so he tells them to destroy the building, like no matter what happens to them, and they're gonna like sacrifice themselves if they have to, right? Audrey and Matthew Broderick she's like, oh, so what you're telling us is that you were correct about them being born. And he's like, yes, thank you for saying that. And I was just like, what the fuck? And they like have a moment for no reason. It was very stupid. Also because like the government already decided to believe him, so there was like nothing to redeem him for at that point.
They have like no chemistry. It's so bad, and like I don't know.
Not
it's
at
just
all.
Every time it's just them, I'm like I'm checked out immediately.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Like
so
honestly, the minute like from the point that Godzilla disappears until I'm gonna say she comes back.
Okay, thank you.
Like I'm so checked out of this movie.
I mean, I agree. So it's like we think Godzilla's dead. Then there's just like all of this stupid shit with the babies. The babies could have been really cool, but they're not. They're not done well at all. Okay, so we're almost there.
Stupid babies.
You stupid little babies. They find out that basically, the government's gonna send a bomb to bomb the building. They have 6 minutes to escape, and the babies start breaking in, and they like chase them around a little bit. The babies are fucking like slipping on gumballs and shit. I was like, okay, all right. Matthew Broderick's like throwing bouncy balls at them and shit. It's very stupid. And they get to a point where they're like in the foyer of the building, and they have less than 60 seconds to escape. And so this is when the Secret Service guy starts like shooting down chandeliers, I guess, to like make make a path to the front door, which ends up working. They run out as the building explodes, and Audrey is essentially just like, let's get back together. And he's like, okay, and they kiss. And then it pans over to like the burning building. Like this is going to be the end of the movie. There's still like 20 fucking minutes of this movie left. I was like, oh my God. Because then, the Secret Service guy is like, I could go for a cup of coffee. And I was like, I feel you, bro. So it's not over, because out of the burning building, Godzilla pops out somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah, there's
this
no
works.
explanation.
Like, you think that they would like, their plan was to shoot Godzilla and kill it in the water and just let its body like rot in the water.
Yeah, feed all.
They didn't check to make
animals.
sure it was dead.
Well, I think somebody at some point says, should we like pull the body out of the water? Which they would do, but the dude's just like, nah, fuck 100%.
It. Also, they didn't check to make sure it was dead. They're just like, it's probably fine.
Well, they saw that sad sinking.
Yeah, and the music. Yeah. They're like, oh, that's really sad music. It's probably dead. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It pops out. I mean, I do have to say I wasn't expecting it, because I also didn't realize there was like 20 minutes left. But it pops out, and it's just like, at this point, I started to feel so sad for Godzilla, because she's basically like looking around at all the dead baby Godzillas and like crying. And I was like, you fucking monsters, you killed all the babies. Let the babies live. I don't care much for human babies, but Godzilla babies deserve a chance, okay? So they run away because Godzilla is back. Then they get into a taxi and they like, I don't have a taxi chase with Godzilla that honestly just goes on forever. They end up like running into the military, and the military's like, oh, by the way, Godzilla's still alive.
BT dubs.
Don't
you
know if
didn't
you
know.
saw, but so basically like the military guy like ends up calling that's into the taxi, and it's just like, what's happening, like we need the strikers back. And Matthew Broderick taxi like drives into a tunnel to like try and hide from Godzilla, but the tunnel is like barricaded, because of the evacuation, and Godzilla is just trying to like get at them and like like try and claw them out or whatever. And the military is like, hey, okay, can you like lure Godzilla out somewhere so we can like shoot him and stuff? And they're just like, yeah, no problem. So they basically turn on the brights so that Godzilla is like blinded temporarily, and they drive out underneath them. They end up luring him like over to the Brooklyn Bridge. I dare say that this is the most ridiculous part of the movie right here. So they're crossing a bridge. Like, they're not at the Brooklyn Bridge yet, but they're crossing a bridge. Then Godzilla's like chasing them, and then all of a sudden Godzilla's gone, and they're like, where's Godzilla? And then Godzilla just like pops out from under the bridge in front of them, and like chomps the taxi up, but also on a piece of road. So in Godzilla's mouth, it's like a sandwich. It's like a piece of the road and then the car on top. And Godzilla's like chomping and like about to swallow it. And they're all like screaming and yelling and shit. And then Matthew Broderick sees like I don't know, some kind of like phone wire or something, grabs it and like electrocutes the inside of his mouth, which fuck is so rude, okay? But then they're like, step on it. And he like steps on the gas, and because they're sitting on like a piece of pavement, like burn out and literally like launch out of his mouth. And I was like,
Pretty dope.
what?
Makes sense to me.
Sirs. So
What a great
anyways,
escape.
I mean, okay, sure. It looked ridiculous too, because it showed like a panorama, and the taxi's just like, woo! Godzilla's like, it sucked. Godzilla still chases them, and we do eventually get to the Brooklyn Bridge, where Godzilla gets wrapped up in the suspension cables, and he's really sad about it. They like shoot at her a lot, and like essentially they just keep shooting poor Godzilla till she like collapses and she's like crying and stuff. And Matthew Broderick walks up and shares like really intimate eye contact with Godzilla as they are like murdering her. We can hear Godzilla's heartbeat literally stop, and he's just looking at her like a soulless psychopath. And then he's just like, all right, well,
Time to go.
yeah, well, that's it. My love affair's over. I guess I'll switch to a human now. It didn't work out. Everyone cheers behind them. They're like, yay, Godzilla's dead. And this is when Animal's wife is like, oh, that's my husband. And I was like, girl.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's fine. It's fine. She's excited. All the kids there, like, high-fiving and shit. Then they're like walking out through the crowd, and all the reporters are like trying to talk to Matthew Broderick, and he's like, I've already promised my exclusive story to a reporter, like talking to Audrey. And Audrey's boss is there and is like, oh, great, awesome job. And Audrey's like, you know what? I quit. I'm like, yeah, you tell him. I don't know where she's going. I don't know. It's not like she can just like invent a news station, but whatever. It's fine. They'll figure it out.
That's all the sequel would have been about.
Right. So Animal starts freaking out because he can't find like the film. He's been like taking film of like the babies and literally everything that's happened the whole time. Like the tape is missing. And the French Secret Service guy like calls Matthew Broderick and is just like, LOL, I took the tape. Goodbye. and then they all walk off into the crowd, and we see some explode, like the building that they exploded that had all the babies in it. We see it like smoldering and shit, and then it zooms in on one lone egg that's hatching. The end.
Thank God this didn't get a sequel.
Oh,
I'm devastated.
I remember when I saw this in the theater being so pissed off that there was like kind of a cliffhanger. Like, for some reason, I don't remember anything with the babies happening. I do remember the egg at the end, but I don't know. I remember being like, what the fuck? What happens with the egg? But I am now also very glad that they did not make a sequel.
All right. I'm never talking about this movie again. No more episodes on this Godzilla movie.
Like I said, it wasn't as bad as I expected, but it sure was pretty long and boring and kind of stupid.
I'm gonna pick it for my 3 movies. Every third week we're gonna watch Godzilla.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Oh my god.
Katie, Eddie.
Wait, it's just like 3 months of Queen of the Damned and Godzilla 2000.
Oh God. Queen of the.
I just want an excuse to be a New York guy again.
Yeah, we should just pick only 3
Every
movies
few weeks.
starring Hank Azaria being a fucking New York guy.
Hey,
Look at these fucking babies.
News.
I didn't really see
Hank
any.
Azaria is
Except...
like, I got your news right here, pal.
Yeah. Extra.
Because let's see, the only thing that I saw recently, did you watch the trailer for the Moon Knight series?
No, because I'm already sold on watching it. So
I wasn't specifically sold on Oscar Isaac, to be honest. But I watched the trailer and I don't know, I'm actually kind of stoked for it. I forgot to talk about I did also see the Morbius trailer.
oh yeah, I never even bothered watching that.
I was forced to watch it because I saw it, but they played it before Spider-Man, and it looks like the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. So not excited about that.
I'll end up watching it, but I don't really care either way.
I don't know if I will, because my other thing is I don't know. I think that I'm pretty clear on my feelings on Jared Leto also.
Yeah, you love him,
and we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I did see also that our king David Arquette is set to star in a new movie that is a post-Civil War horror western, and it's called Ghosts of the Ozarks.
That's too many things to be describing a movie.
It's a lot. He's got a beard in it. The
He's
trailer's
also
out
an
now.
NFT
You can
in
watch
it.
Oh shit! Now, man, I'm gonna buy that. $30,000 just to get stolen.
There you go. But yeah, no, most of the news right now is 90% Scream related, which even for someone who loves Scream like I do, I feel like it's a little much. I think we can move on now. Let's just move on.
Yeah, considering this one was bad.
I'm still gonna wait to see it, but
I'm not
I don't
gonna
feel
spoil it or anything for you, but
no, I know you won't, but I just don't feel like we need to dig up articles that people have written about Scream for the past 10 years and rehash them. People know what Scream is,
I don't know. I don't know if they do.
You'd think they did.
I haven't seen anyone talking about it.
Yeah.
All right. Katie, what'd you watch this week?
Oh.
Nothing.
I didn't really watch a ton. I did watch, oh my God. Okay. Speaking of Scream though, just one tiny thing. So I made a boo-boo. I should have read the description at all before watching this, but Discovery Plus, who I actually enjoy, had what I thought was a documentary on Scream. It was called Scream: The True Story, and I thought it was supposed to be a documentary of the serial killer that the killer in Scream, the whole story was originally based off of, or whatever. And it turned out to be, there was a little bit of it. There was like, this thing was like an hour and a half long, and there was like 10 minutes of like actual documentary going on. And then the rest of it was these two people like ghost hunting and trying to talk to the original guy was like sentenced to the death penalty and was actually executed. And the documentary is about them trying to talk to him, like his spirit and or the demon that he said was possessing him. And it was one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen in my life. And I don't recommend anybody watch it. It was so bad.
Yeah, sounds bad.
Wow. Whew, it was bad. And I watch a lot of bad ghost shows. So like if I think it's bad, it's like truly terrible. I also watched a Charles Bronson movie called 10 to Midnight, which was about a person who murders, he like gets naked and murders people, and it was a lot. I watched Next of Kin from 1982, which had been on my list for a while, but like I don't know, I didn't really care for it that much. And I also watched Cliffhanger for the first time.
Hell yeah.
Rocks.
It was something. I like, okay, skip 2 seconds if you don't want to hear a spoiler. The movie is like pretty much a normal movie. And I'm just like, okay, I don't really see like what the hype is though. Like obviously Sylvester Stallone's in it. But then there's that part where he's like in the cave and he just like picks that guy up and like impales him on a stalactite or whatever. And I was like, oh wait,
Amazing.
Yeah, stalactite. And I was like, holy shit, what the? I was not expecting that because that was like more than halfway into the movie. Also, Mary Poppins was in it, so that was pretty great. So I don't know, it was fine. Oh my god! And then we tried to rewatch Wild Wild West, and we did not get very far because I don't know if you've tried to watch that kind of recently, but it is extremely does not hold up as far as racism goes.
Yeah, it's not great.
So it's not, and I haven't seen it in a really long time. I had fond memories of it as like a kid, but then we watched it, I was like, absolutely not. Like we had to turn it off. It was bad. And that's it, I think.
What about you, Kit?
Watch Punch Drunk Love, which fucking rocked.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It was so good. I had no idea what to expect. King of Comedy, also really good.
And
then Old.
Is it the stand-up thing, like Kings of Comedy, or is it something else?
No, like the Scorsese movie
with
Robert De Niro. And then Old, which is a perfect film.
It's so stupid.
So fucking stupid. It was amazing. I just sat there and had a beer and just soaked it in.
Is that the one with the baby?
Yeah, we saw it, Caitlin and
the beach that makes you old.
Saw it at the drive-in before Katie, man. It's so stupid.
Amazing.
The fucking
I wish I could experience it like that.
Fucking mid-sized sedan is the rapper's name or whatever.
He said that, God. And I spit out my beer and was like, "Excuse me," and I thought surely I heard him wrong. And then like later on, they're like, "Oh my God, you killed mid-sized sedan." And I was like,
"There's no way that M. Night Shyamalan doesn't think that's the coolest fucking rapper name."
Oh, for sure. He has a list. He's like, if my dream is to be a rapper, what would my name be? And that's what it is. And honestly, he's like, I'm gonna put it in a movie.
Anything else?
Nah, that's it.
I watched a bunch of shit. A lot of it was stuff I've rewatched, so I'm not gonna go through all of it. I watched Ganja and Hess, which
I need to watch that.
Fucking slaps. I'd seen it before, but I'd seen like apparently like whoever released it just like cut it without Bill Gunn's kind of approval on it. And then like I guess sometime in the last couple of years there was a quote unquote director's cut that he got to do. So I watched that and it fucking rules. Let's see. I've been watching a bunch of shot on video shit that's been showing up on YouTube. So I watched Wood Chipper Massacre, which rules. I watched a movie called Disgusting Space Worms Eat Everyone, which is the most.
Is that about Matthew Broderick?
Yeah, it's I don't. It's fucking. It's a very, very fucking weird movie. I don't know how to explain it. It's like the way it looks and like the sound editing for it, because it's kind of so like low budget, just gives it this very weird feel. I watched a movie called The Abomination from 1986 that slaps. It real fucked up, very weird, and it made me feel like I was high the entire time I was watching it.
Were you though?
No, it's like it's another. It's like shot on video, so it has that like look to it, and then it's just like very all over the place kind of story wise, and has like deals with like just this weird creature that like grows out of people. I don't know. It's fucked up, but it's pretty good. I watched Replicator finally. Just a fucking
your dream.
Absolutely perfect movie. It's about some like government agency that's trying to make super soldiers, but like their machine is just turning the soldiers into horny women. But then like like their brains, they get so horny that they turn into reptiles and just cross over into becoming alligators. Like half alligator people. It fucking rules.
How is that connected?
It's so stupid and it rules. Because it's supposed to be like the lizard brain thing. It makes no sense. Everything in it looks pretty dumb, but it's fucking great. I watched a short called It's Not Delivery, It's Demonic, about a pizza demon. Highly recommended.
That sounds hilarious.
I watched some Spanish shot on video thing called Burp that was one of the most, like, you know how like when like really kind of low budget shit will do, especially stuff that's like on video, when it's like extra gory and it like adds that like touch of feeling realistic to it. Like it kind of was, it's like a movie like that where it's like overly like mean and gory. And so it was kind of like it's pretty good, but it's like one of those movies where you watch, you're like, I feel gross after watching this. I watched another one called Trepanator. I guess Trepanator is how you would pronounce it. That's just like the description to it is Dr. Herbert East is working in his uncle's clinic and experimenting with brain transplants. So it's just like a fucking really terrible remake ripoff of Reanimator. And then I watched another short today called Rhino Bitch. That was about a rhino woman running around killing people in the woods, and it slaps.
What a name.
I love it.
It looks so ridiculous. Oh, then I watched Eyes of Fire, and it's fine. Not really sure why everyone's losing their fucking minds about it. I also watched almost all of John Carpenter's filmography this week.
Nice.
Because,
everyone does.
You know, it's all good except for The Ward.
Oh.
Ugh. All right, shout outs. Katie.
I forgot to have one.
My shout out is Every Time I Die drama.
Oh yeah. God.
I hate it, but I also love it because I'm a gossipy bitch, and I
like what a mess.
It's even
I hate
like
it, but I love the drama.
Like it's, I don't know. There was shit last night going on in the middle of the night about how apparently the guitar player's wife is a Q person, and that was like leading to part of it. And I was like, yeah, this checks out.
Wow.
Way to take a 20 plus year legacy of being like one of the most consistently like on point bands, and now it's just like this fucking weird drama shit going on. But
yeah. Oh well.
Listen to their albums; they're good. What about you, Kit?
Undeath. Undeath has a new song out, and it rocks. It has a lightning crack that leads into a snare roll.
Oh yeah.
The coolest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
That shit, and when you line up like a gunshot in a song with a fucking snare drum.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that stupid shit like that amuses me.
Same. There's a Graf Orlock song that does that, where it's just like a shotgun blast or some shit with like the drum snare, and I'm like, this fucking rules. I love it.
It's so good.
All right, Katie, what are we watching next week?
We're gonna watch. Shit, I forgot what year it's from.
2000.
Yeah,
Godzilla 2000.
I've never watched a movie that was not from the year 2000. It is. Oh shit.
The longest.
Oh wait, it actually no. It is from 2000. We're gonna watch 2000's Uzumaki.
I don't know anything about this movie. Oh, is this Spiral?
Yeah. So, I'll talk
from the Book of Saw. I'm gonna watch that one.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real upset if Chris Rock isn't in this movie.
I think he might be. You never know. Yeah. So this is I'll talk about it more obviously next. But basically, like Nathan was just like pick 3 movies that you actually like that are good, and so I tried really hard to like pick 3 that I feel like kind of encapsulate me, and so I picked this one. Obviously, it's in Japanese. It's free on. I think I said Prime.
Yeah, it's on Prime.
Yeah.
I'll try. But it's not. It hasn't been free or anywhere for like a really long time. So the fact that I just happened to see that it was free, I was like, this is perfect timing. And this is based off of a comic by Junji Ito, and it was like one of the. It might be the very first like Japanese horror movies that I saw. And I bought it just like blind, saw the DVD, and I was like, wow, this looks cool. Bought it and just like absolutely loved it. And I haven't seen it in a really long time, so I really hope that it holds up. But yeah, you can probably find it by searching Uzumaki or Spiral, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I know it gets in Junji Ito. I'm on board.
And I think like this was like one of the first things, like obviously he's really well known for Tomie also, but I feel like Uzumaki is like way more known by graphic wise, because even now a lot of the merch is like panels from that manga, and they're just like out of this world. I think that they're amazing. So we'll see.
All right. Yeah, watch that for next week if you want. Or just watch Godzilla 2000 a bunch of times.
Again,
either way.
I cannot believe this movie was also from 2000. What is happening?
Well, technically, never mind. We're not getting into Godzilla 2000 anymore. If you would like to support us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/IUpYourself4podcast. Merch at our store Frontier Shop. Leave us a rating on Spotify or iTunes. Follow us on Instagram.
iTunesify.
Yeah, Spotitunes. Follow us on Instagram at IUpYourself4podcast. Follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery. Follow Katie at Werewolf Face. You can listen to my other podcast named Kate Movie Club. I think it comes out the week this episode comes out. I'm on an episode of Girl That's Scary talking about House of the Dead 1 and 2, where I got to inform Kat and Jazz about the movie Blubberella.
Thanks.
Also, 2 of us were very high, and it made for a very weird episode that was pretty funny. Talking about
can't wait
the insanity. I don't know if either of you have seen House of the Dead 2, but it's not great.
I don't think I have actually.
I had seen it when it first came out, and I hadn't seen it since, and it gotta say, does not hold up. It is very stupid. But yeah, that's it. I hope you Godzilla but 2000.
I hope you die, Matthew Broderick.
I hope you MFP3.
No.
I hope you live Moss.
Yeah.
Oh, dong.